Hello, my friends, and thank you for viewing. I'm sitting out here in the middle of the winter in Albuquerque, although it's still pretty nice out here, I gotta say. And today I'm going to be talking to you about what it's like to feel one with God. And the key word here is really feel, because I'm not going to recite some words I read in a book or talk to you about why I think we're all one with God. I'm just going to share with you what I feel like when I experience my oneness with God. And that experience is possible for all of us because truly we are all one with that infinite source. You could call it the divine. I like that word a lot, source, the higher power. And that experience of feeling my oneness with God, I've literally had thousands and thousands of times at this point. It all started for me about 8 years ago. I was going through a really hard time in life, honestly. Someone near and dear to me passed on. Although over time, I've really started to realize that no one is ever really gone, since we're all infinite and eternal. But in response to this person not being in my life anymore in the physical, I was grieving, and I thought it might help my mental and emotional health to start meditating every day. I had a really open mind, so I didn't have anything against the thought of meditating. And I set up a little meditation tent in a forest like this one, or I would just sit on a stump or a log, and I would recite my mantra, or just let my body breathe and just gently, very gently focus upon that breath. And when I was doing this, I had many experiences where my thoughts and my mental images and my emotions, they would feel like they just washed out of me. And I would feel this amazing openness. I would feel like my consciousness was both well merged with my physical body and spreading out into infinity, feeling my environment, feeling everything. And in the emptiness that was my mind, what replaced thoughts and mental images and emotions was just God. It was just like we're all swimming around in this ocean of God. We're saturated in it, permeated, but yet so few people out of billions and billions of people on this planet realize it at this point. It's the year 2020 right now. I think it takes a tremendous effort, really, to believe that you're something other than God and not connected to God. What it takes is basically a really powerful mind, a lot of strong belief, and millions of people, or billions, all believing together that they are somehow separate from God. Well, back there in the forest, I started to go beyond that illusion, really. And I just let my mind totally relax into the source of awareness that exists right within us. And I noticed that when I connected with God in this way, that God has certain qualities. And these qualities exist, and they're always there. And they're the same, and they will always be the same, infinitely and eternally. And the qualities of God include unconditional love, unconditional happiness or bliss, infinite joy, total peace, total satisfaction, and truth. Indeed, God and truth are synonymous. And so feeling one with God simply is just, if you can imagine what all those things feel together in your body and just permeating your mind and emotions, that's what it's like. And I got to tell you, I got really addicted to that experience, because after I would finish a meditation session and have an experience like that, I would just kind of land back down onto earth and go back to my more average state of feeling, which it wasn't great. And so, not surprisingly, every single day I went back there in the forest or just sat cross-legged on my futon to meditate about 30 minutes a day. And then after a year or two, it became an hour a day. And then it went up to an hour and a half a day of really just sitting there and just enjoying silence. And not every meditation was amazing like that. Sometimes I would have a lot of thoughts or worries, or emotions would come out of me, from that I had been toting around all my life for healing. But I tried my best to treat every meditation session like a great one, no matter what happened. And then after years of doing that, about 5-6 years, then I started to have a lot of experiences where finally that kind of experience of feeling one with God, it started to be brought out with me into the world after my meditation, or it would just spontaneously occur seemingly out of nowhere, like just a gift from the Almighty. I might just be shopping. Maybe I had even some supplies to pick up at Walmart or something. You know, not the place where people imagine to go to feel enlightened, but I would just kind of have an experience of expansiveness. My consciousness would feel well merged with my body and then spread out into the store and into the environment and into infinity. And through having this experience, like, I'll just say it again, what I've really realized is, like, you just get to experience all the qualities of God when you feel your oneness with God. Unconditional happiness, whereas people think normally you have to earn happiness somehow, like it's money, like you have to get people to love you or have your relationships be just right, or live in the just right house or have the just right car. Like, happiness is given to you freely by God at any moment that you're willing to receive it, and it's always offered to you. Unconditional love, a love you don't have to earn, and a love that's really beyond words. It's a love that's infinite, so you could always experience more of it. And yeah, my sense is that there is really no ultimate state of enlightenment because of that, because of unconditional happiness, and unconditional love is always offered to you freely. Helicopter overhead, sorry. And due to that, it's like it's always possible to feel more in love and more happy because these things are infinite. And my sense also is that God is infinitely expanding, so you never catch up to it and you never get to experience all of it. You just get to experience it in certain degrees when you allow yourself to. But you can experience God, even just a little bit of God is like totally satisfying and doesn't leave you wanting more at times. It's like, wow, that's amazing. And yeah, and then in your oneness with God, you also have a strong sense of truth. When you really experience God within, like, you're synonymous with the truth, or you're like merged with it in those moments. And so when you hear people giving you like spiritual philosophies or theories or religious philosophies or theories or just any kind of words, you can tell how true they are because you're in touch with the vibration of truth within, and you can compare it to the words you're hearing and to the frequencies that they embody. So in summary, feeling one with God is amazing. And it's totally satisfying when you really allow yourself to go into it. Now, the process of feeling more and more and more one with God and aligning with that source more deeply, it can be a little bit challenging, I must say, because it's like day by day or week by week, maybe month by month, you're constantly dying and becoming like a brand new person. You're constantly becoming more and more of your authentic self. So you might relate to your relationships differently, to your work differently, to the world differently. You might all of a sudden get into different music, and it's like, well, music is one thing, but food, housing, all kinds of different ideas start to come up as you become more in line with God. And the people in your life, they may like that or they might not. And it can be challenging too, because a lot of your emotions and thoughts that you've been carrying around all your life, they come up for healing. And the more you get in line with God, which is, you could call it infinite light, the more you realize your own darkness inside, your own shadows, your own ego. I can tell you, honestly, I still have my ego. Like, I've lessened it, I feel like, a lot through these years of meditation and bringing light in, but I still notice it coming up all the time. And my own shadow, my own unhealed parts. And in these moments, I really do my best to just accept these things, try to love them. And that gives the potential for transmutation and healing, and really turning that energy from stagnation and darkness back into light and freedom and ecstatic energy that you can use to live your life. So, in summary, thank you so much for viewing. Feeling one with God is amazing. I would suggest it for anyone. It can be kind of challenging to go on the journey of feeling more and more one with God, but it's very much worth it, and you can definitely do it. And then when you look back, you're like, man, compared to how I used to feel, to the moments of like frustration, feeling lost or depressed that I used to have, feeling one with God more and more, it really just helps out a lot. Thank you guys so much. Blessings to you.